Calling all members of the in crowd. If you want to get in on the action, we want to hear from you. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com, or slide in our DMs on IG at FadeRoutePodcast, or drop us a line on X at FadeRouteDNZ. You can find us on Facebook, The Fade Route with DNZ. We're on Spreaker. We're on YouTube, The Fade Route with DNZ. Catch our videos. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and spread the word. Coming at you from the Hey Yo Studios, it's the Fade Route with DNZ. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Coming at you live from the Ayo Studio. It's the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D, and we've got a great show for you tonight. The Isles blow a lead, and the NFL draft is just a few days away. But we'll begin today's show with, man, it's a great time to be a sports fan in New York. Yankees and Mets are over 500. Mets played very well on their West Coast trip so far against the Dodgers. The Rangers are in control of their first round series with the Capitals, and the New York Knicks are up 2-0 on the 76ers. So Z, which team are you most excited about, and which team concerns you?
Well, the way things are going, we have the potential to have an amazing early start to summer. Right? At the highest of the highs, since you have the number one overall winningest team in the NHL, right? That's what the President's Trophy represents. You had the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference in the NBA. The New York Yankees, first in their division and up there in terms of best record in baseball. You have the Mets, who are where they should be, win series, taking series teams that, frankly, we were heralding as World Series contenders. Knock off the Braves 2 out of 3. You knock off the Dodgers 2 out of 3. The Dodgers, say what you will. I don't buy for a second, that we're just going to scratch James Paxton. But yeah, James Paxton, that seems a little panicky. If I'm Dave Roberts, I'm gonna MacGyver my rotation to get my ace in this matchup so we don't get swept. Like that seems a little much for April, but it does show you what the other teams around the league think of the Mets. Like, yeah, they're the Mets, and people are used to being joking and shitting on them because it's fun to shit on the Mets, right? It's fun to kick this organization around because they're very good at doing it themselves. But that's a desperation move very early in the season, and that speaks very highly. That speaks very loudly in terms of what the league think of the Mets if they're going to maneuver their rotation this early. But baseball is a marathon, so you're never as good as when you're going great. You're never as bad as when you're going bad. Right? The way the Rangers played, and frankly, out of the Washington Capitals, if they can consistently do that over the course of these next 4 rounds of the playoffs, we could have something we 30 years. So I'm very excited about that. I'm waiting with bated breath. Right? The Knicks you'd love to see because you haven't seen it since the 70s. So that's wonderful if you're a Knicks fan. You've been waiting for a very long time. And much like the Mets, you have been the brunt of the joke for a very long time. And I'm sure that there are plenty of Knicks fans out there that are pissed off. And rightfully so. Right? So, now's the time for a little chest puffing. That leaves the Yankees. The Yankees kind of scare me with their bullpen. The offense is a little slow, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to get too panicked about the Yankees. Like, they give me a little bit of agita, give me a little bit of concern. At the end of the day, those guys are going to play to the back of the basement. It's bound to happen. And if Garrett Cole gets healthy, which it sounds like he is, it sounds like he's getting closer and closer every day. And, maybe that's a June return, maybe it's a July return. I have faith that they will be able to turn that around. We will definitely see, but they give me the most pause. The Rangers give me the most delight.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the Rangers. How could you not be excited? I mean, they've got a great draw the first round against the Capitals.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're fucking dominating them. They're up 2-1 right now. And then, if we get on to the next round, they have a really good shot of making it to the championship, Stanley Cup Finals. Kreider just playing on his game. Everybody just seems to be clicking and gelling very well. Knicks too. Knicks are facing the Sixers team that's banged up. If they're able to beat the Sixers, Boston will be their biggest challenge, and if they can beat Boston, they're going to the finals. And the game that was yesterday, we're going to talk about it. I mean, usually they're on the other side of that. Right?
Completely.
They're the ones that, have the ball not tipped their way, fouls don't get called, and they lose, right? We've seen the Knicks lose that game 100 times. So the fact that they won and how they won, it just makes you feel like the times are turning for them. As far as the Mets are concerned, I mean, hey man, they started out 0-5, and they've really righted the ship. I mean, and they've gone into the West Coast. They're facing the Dodgers. They're facing the Giants. They're going to be facing the Padres. And they've got a chance to come home.
Sign up for it at 0-5.
And how could you not be happy about that? It really was looking pretty... Right. It was really looking kind of bleak. But now you're like, okay, we're going to play hard. We don't have superstars. We don't have great talent. But hey, man, we're going to play hard. So if they can just continue to play hard, they should be fine. The team that actually concerns me, I think it's the New York Yankees. And I'll tell you why. You've got Aaron Judge batting under 200. Okay? Juan Soto has run his spot. Run it. He is the right fielder now. He is the captain of this team. He is the one that's getting all the cheers. He's the one that's getting all the attention. And we're just getting a taste and seeing how Judge can respond to that. Because Cole is out, Judge isn't hitting, but they're still in like first or second place. So now it's like, well, Judge, if you were playing better, we'd be in first. And then if Soto happens to go in a slump, which I doubt is going to happen, it's going to be Judge's job to pick up the slack. And can he? I don't know. And then, if they're able to get to the American League Championship Series, or even if they're able to get to the World Series, and it's mainly because of Juan Soto, and then Juan Soto leaves, and Aaron Judge goes back to right field, and it's more of the woes, not good, man. Not good. So yeah, I think the Yankees concern me right now. I think they're off to a nice start, considering what their division's looking like, because the Orioles really haven't been playing as good as we anticipated. I mean, I think they're still in first, but I think
they're 15-7.
We thought Jackson Holiday, though, was going to be a better player. We thought
you might have. Know what? He's a prospect, man. Come on. That's the thing about prospects. They could easily...
He was the number one prospect. Look at the number one prospects for the last couple of years. Ronald Acuna was a number one prospect. Look at how he's playing. Jackson Holiday hasn't had a hit in 7 days. He is 11.
How many number one overall picks make in Major League Baseball? More than not, they don't make it. More often than...
I think only 3 have actually made the Hall of Fame.
So, I mean, that tells you all you need to know. Jackson Holiday will find his water. Like, he'll find it. Now,
can you name those 3 players?
I got one.
I can. So Chipper Jones.
Okay.
Chipper Jones.
Yo.
Ken Griffey Jr. and Harold Baines.
Oh. Oh. So close. So close.
Hey, man.
Mr. Joe Mauer. Mr. Joe.
He wasn't a
Sure
number
was.
1 pick.
1-1 to the Minnesota
But
Twins.
he's not a Hall of Famer. Is he a
This
Hall
year.
of Famer? Is he a Hall of
This
Famer?
year.
Oh,
There you go.
there you go. He's
You have a
number
4th
4.
to the list. So there's more likelihood that Jackson Holliday will be Phil Nevin than statistics and history are on the side of that argument. You got to give him time to develop. You got to get him back down. So Willie Mays can get sent back down, then Jackson gets sent back down because he's not ready. Like, that's okay. And realistically, Jackson Holliday for the Baltimore Orioles is like parsley on the plate. They don't need him. They don't need him right now. They didn't need him last year. They don't need him now.
No, they don't really need him.
Step outside of your safe area and make a statement without saying much with FCK Clout Lifestyle Apparel. Embrace the colorful chaos and stay emotionally regulated in their hoodies, snapbacks, graphic tees, accessories, and more. Season 3 merch is up now. Get it while you can. Go to fckclout.com and get all of your needs from men and women. That's fckclout.com.
Like we talked about, the NBA playoffs are off to a great start, but the 76ers are not. The 76ers went down 2-0 thanks to the Nova kids. Brunson and Hart dominated the 76ers in Game 1, and DiVincenzo buried a 3 in the closing seconds of Game 2. Embiid had 34 points, but he was visibly in discomfort. I read a stat yesterday, he's only had 19 dunks all season. That's ridiculous. So, what would you say about Embiid's career so far?
I would say that Joel Embiid is wasted potential. As good as he is, there's a ceiling. Now, some of that is due to Daryl Morey, right? Some of that is due to the roster creation around him. Some of that is due to the fact that he could not stay healthy, right? It took him years to kind of figure that out, and still he hasn't really figured it out, right? I mean, you saw the dunk, and then it looked like his knee buckled. It looks like he was down on the ground and crumpled in pain. So, it goes to show you that I don't want to say he's brittle, because he has worked very hard, and he's not as brittle as he used to be. Not Nerlens Noel at the beginning of his career. Like, that was, something to be marveled at. The with ease with which players got injured. But supremely talented guy. I mean, you can't doubt Joel Embiid. You can't doubt Joel Embiid's talent level. Like, that's a given. He's a star. But with that comes a lot of baggage and a lot of wasted potential. And it just makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, right? They brought guys to build him. They tried to make like a super team. What is the winning formula? I still haven't figured it out. And how do you fit this piece into the puzzle? Now that he's 30, that's something that you really need to start answering. You have to start asking that question, because as supremely talented as he is, he's also 30 now. Like, that's something that you need to be wary of. And he's a big. He's not a 30-year-old guard. He's not LeBron. Like, that body's going to start breaking down even faster than it already has. So, there's a lot of what if with Joel Embiid. As good as we've seen, as much flash as we've seen, there's a lot of what if there. And it makes you wonder, at what point does Philly realize, hey, maybe we need to cut bait here, or maybe we need to bring in a superstar, a legit superstar, to which Joel Embiid can be the complementary player, not a superstar that complements Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the problem is like I'm comparing him to Joker, right? And Joker, he's got 2 MVPs, right? I mean, if Joker is able to go back to the finals this year, even if he just gets there, I mean, we're talking about he's cracking the top 15 players of all time, right? I mean, he's entering Hakeem Olajuwon status. He's entering Shaquille O'Neal status. I mean, so Joker's already got a championship. He looks like he might be headed back. And then when you look at the numbers, guess how many games Joker missed this year? He missed 3 games. My man played 79 fucking games.
3.
Like, that's
3.
crazy. And then you look, and he missed 3 games. And then when you look at his playoff numbers and you compare it to Embiid, he's averaging 3 more points. He's averaging 27 points per game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? He's averaging, his 3-point percentage is .412. So .412. Wow. That's crazy for a big man. He's averaging 12 rebounds a game, 7.3 assists, 1 steal. Like, his playoff numbers are just stupid. They're stupid. And if you want to take it a tick higher, if we're looking at just this round, just in the last 2 games he's played, he's shooting 60% from the field. He's shooting 42% from 3, and he's averaging 29, 16, and 8.
Jesus Christ.
29, 16, and 8, Z. So that's the problem I have with Joel Embiid. He hits the ground way too much. His potential has always revolved around, like, who else was there? Tyrese Maxey's good, but we saw last night that's not going to get it done. His best chances were with Simmons and Harden, and he wasn't there long enough. And it's a shame, because I agree with you. I think it is wasted talent, because from him being hurt and then finally getting into the league and being everything that the Sixers wanted in a big man, like, he could shoot, he could dribble, he could score, to come away with this with not even a finals appearance is just, it's terrible. Like, after this year, I can't imagine his stock going up, as terrible as that sounds. I mean, you see him out there last night, he's laboring, man. Like, he could barely get up and down the floor. Every time he comes off the floor, they gotta rub his knee, like, keep it loose, keep it going. And even his facial expressions, he doesn't have the facial expressions he had, like, when he was going against the Raptors and Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't have the facial expressions he had, like, earlier on in his career. He looks like he's tired. He looks like he's shot. He looks like he's in a lot of pain. If you feel like it, he looks like what I am at 40, like, going up and down the court, like, fuck, like, I gotta shoot this, like, I gotta take the ball. All right, I guess. Let me throw it off the backboard and try to put it in. Like, you're just running out of ways to beat people. My leg. So that's unfortunately what his story is going to be. I think he's going to just be just another guy.
He's 30 though.
Yeah, but I just don't. I can't see it getting. I can't see it getting better. That's my problem. It's like, I'm looking at other guys that were around his age at 30 and how much more they accomplished or where they were. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at Joker. Like, come on, Z. For the next 5 years, are you taking Joker or are you taking Embiid? When you're looking at Embiid and you compare him to Olajuwon, would you rather have Olajuwon or Embiid?
I have Olajuwon.
Would you rather have Tim Duncan or Embiid?
Tim Duncan.
Would you rather have Charles Barkley or Embiid?
Charles Barkley, like, Charles Oakley, Charles Smith. Yeah.
It's just this. You're not going to get out of the first round against the Knicks, man. Like, that's bad. That's really bad. Fucking
Is it though? The Knicks are a better team. The Knicks are a better team. Get credit where credit is due.
A better team. No, the Knicks are a better team, but you're not affecting the game. You're not affecting the game. Like, you're not being the difference in your team winning and losing. Your team is losing. They're losing. Even fucking Giannis was able to get to the championship and win. And that guy, all he could do is lay up the ball. That's all he could do is go to the basket and lay up. He can't shoot. He can't shoot foul shots. All that
he
guy
bullied his way to a
go to the
championship.
basket, go to the rack.
It's true.
But he was able to do it. He bullied his way to a championship. But at some point, it's just like, come on,
But if I'm the Sixers, I'm looking at this and I'm saying we cannot build our franchise around Joel Embiid. Like, we tried it with James Harden. We tried it with Ben Simmons. We tried putting together the process with Noel and Fultz and all the young guys. Like, at some point, you need a bigger star. Like, you need a better player that will be ball dominant, and then he can be the other guy. I don't know who that is. They had Jimmy Butler at one point. Like, Jimmy Butler was, I think that's a perfect fit, because Jimmy Butler is the guy. And in the playoffs, who would you rather have? Like, in terms of indomitable, like, he was there. Like, they had him, and they let him go. They let him walk to Miami.
They had him. They let him go, and they didn't win, and they didn't win with him.
So,
that's what I'm trying to say. Z, like, how is it going to get better? It's not going to get better. It's been the best it's ever been. He's played with Harden. He's playing with Maxey right now. He played with Ben Simmons. Say what you want about Ben Simmons. He was okay. He played with Jimmy Butler. I think JJ Redick was there for a hot
JJ
second.
was there,
I
yes.
hate that guy, but I'm just saying he's played with talent. And it's just it's not getting there, man.
No. And I think it's a point of contention. When Knicks bounce them, there needs to be a little soul search by Embiid himself. Like, he's not the process. He can't be that guy anymore. And if I'm the Sixers, do I have the right to go to tell Joel Embiid, I don't want you playing in the Olympics? You can't walk. Why would I let you? I'm paying your salary. Why would I let you do this? Like, at what point do teams intervene here?
Yeah.
Because same with Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
Like, if I'm Steve Ballmer, I need you here. I don't need you in Paris. I need you in LA. I don't need you in Paris. I need you in Philly. Like, I don't know. I just, it's just what might have been. And for the guy, he's for his career, he's averaging close to 30 points a game. He's like, it's definitely like a shooting star. He's averaging 30, 11, and 3 for his career.
Even Kevin Durant had to go to Golden State to win. Just saying.
Oh, Jesus. What could you possibly fetch in an Embiid trade? That would, interesting. That's another story for another time. Now you got the wheels turning.
Well, but with most of the Game 2 games in the bag and the Game 3 games underway, which teams look good so far and which teams are in trouble?
Well, the Pacers play no defense. Like, I think we established the fact that the Pacers play no defense. Like, we kind of figured that was going to happen. The Celtics are the Celtics. They're going to do what they're going to do. I got to say, like, the chalk is who's impressive right now. The teams that you expect to be impressive are the teams that are impressing. What most impressive is that the T-Wolves were able to hold off the Suns. Right? You think veteran Kevin Durant, the youthful immaturity of the Wolves that we saw on today, and the total meltdown that they had. No, the Wolves seem to be a different animal. Anthony Edwards seems to be a different animal this year. Now, granted, it is only one game. It's early. But, like, you can tell. You can tell when teams have matured and when they're youthfully ignorant. And the Wolves seem to have something here. Now, we'll see what happens when they play the Nuggets. We'll see what happens when they play the Thunder. But, I'm impressed by the Wolves so far. As far as teams that are kind of disappointing, yeah, the Lakers, but the Nuggets, like, I get they had a 20-point lead, and the Nuggets turned it on. That you shouldn't have to turn it on against the Lakers in the first round. Like, that's flipping the off switch and then flipping the on switch. Like, that's a little early for me. That makes me consider whether or not it's going to be their year. But, the teams that are good, we expect to be good. The Knicks, I expected them to be feisty, and they are very feisty. They are very feisty. They sent the Sixers back down the turnpike, and their announcers were just whining and crying about calls after claiming it was in the bag. So, yeah, I mean, so far it's going according to Hoyle, with the Wolves showing me the most.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the teams in the East that have impressed me so far are the Knicks. It's hard not to be impressed with their defense and their cohesiveness as a team, right? And then the next team, really, it's the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics, they're gearing up for a run. The teams that I'm embarrassed for, or like, what the hell is going on, is the Magic. The Orlando Magic didn't show up, man. They're getting blown out by the Cavs every game. What the fuck are you doing? You guys, playoffs started last week. What are you guys doing? What the fuck is going on here?
To me, that is what happened last year to the T-Wolves. Like, they're a year early, but you need this in order to move on from it. Like, I can see where you're coming from.
Your dick kicked in?
Yeah. You need to lose before you can win. Like, you need to lose at the next level. Like, it's that modicum of success. It's that modicum of improvement, if you will. But, you got to put up some semblance of a fight. You're absolutely right.
So then, on the Western side, this might be surprising. I am really impressed with the Clippers and how well they're playing without Kawhi Leonard. So, the idea that you could get through this round without Kawhi Leonard and then get him back to face the Thunder, we'll be in great shape. The Mavericks are kind of disappointing because they're another team that got blowed out in the first game. Like, what the fuck? They don't got Kawhi Leonard. Why are you losing by 30 in the fourth quarter? Like, what the fuck is going on? They had to take Kyrie out. They're like, yo, we'll just save you for next game. It's like, what the fuck happened here? Anybody know how to shoot? The fuck is going on? And the other team that impresses me in the West, which I think it's going to come down to, it's the Nuggets. And it's really just because the Joker. Because, like we talked about earlier in the show, I mean, it's 27 points a game. He's shooting 60% from the field and 44% from three. He's fucking almost 7 feet tall. And he's just, was it? It's 12 rebounds, 7 assists. 7 assists. It's crazy. So he keeps playing like that. I think he's on the Clippers, and I think the Clippers are on a collision course with Nuggets. And in the East, it just seems like it'll be a showdown between the Celtics and the Knicks.
Yeah, I would say so. I really don't see any scenario where I really don't see anything, no real upsets coming this way. It seems very chalky.
It's kind of chalky. I mean, what the all 11 games have been decided, but the home team has won all 11 games.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the NBA for you. I think this is it. They changed their whole playoff format for 4 upsets, for 4 flukes. Let's upset the whole fucking thing because 4 teams happen to lose. So, that's the NBA in a nutshell. But I mean, looking at this, some of these teams, it's just like, I mean, Thunder Pelicans. Like, I can't get used up for that. I'm sorry. Like I can't get
Zion's out too. What the fuck is going on with this guy?
You have Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler.
What do you mean? I might come back this series. You might come back. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you doing?
I mean, this is the farthest he's ever been, and he's just, I might come back. I don't know. That seems
I might come back this series.
Maybe we'll see. We'll definitely see. And he's not a superstar. Sorry. No, he's not. He's a good dunker. He's a good dunker. Like, that's who Zion Williamson is. He shows you who he is. Believe it. Maya Angelou said that, right? When people show you who they are, believe them. It's come on now. How many times are we going to get lulled in by the talent? How many times are we going to get lulled in by the dunking and the highlight reel? And that it's not just him. It's not just him. It's pervasive throughout the league. Like, this is who the guy is. And right now, his team is on the losing end of a 1-0 deficit in the series. So, like, you're
useless.
Are you in need of air care maintenance or service? I have the company for you. Air Care Technicians. They service the Westchester and Northern Bronx area and can help you with all your heating and cooling, maintenance, and service needs. Just give them a call at 914-315-1547. Again, that's 914-315-1547. Or shoot them an email at aircaretechnicians@gmail.com. These guys are the real deal, as they are veteran-owned, licensed, and insured. Make sure to tell them that D&Z sent you.
Well, the NFL draft is just a few days away, and both the Jets and the Giants have top 10 picks. Who should the Jets take at 10, and who should the Giants take at 6? I think
the Giants are 6th, yeah. At least right now. Now, they've been the subject of trade rumors the entire time. Now, yes, the Denver Broncos were considering moving up into the draft, and they very well may still do so. But I don't know if they're going to move to 6 now that they acquired Zach Wilson. So, I'm not saying that Zach Wilson is the be-all, end-all. That's not what I'm saying. But now they may have made their move for the quarterback, and just like maybe instead of going to 6, they can move to like 12 or 13.
Can we laugh about the idea that the Broncos got rid of one Wilson and got another Wilson? There's been so many good memes out there about like the Jets trading this dude. Like, and then I love how on the Jets Instagram page they thanked Zach Wilson.
For what?
I had a quote. I had a comment. I was like, "Can you finish? Thank you. Can you finish the sentence? Like for what? For leaving? For I don't even know. What are you thanking him for? What the fuck did he do?
For refusing to play that one time, and then like he got talked into it. Like for throwing his teammates under the bus. Yeah. Like Denver,
this dude could not wait to get out of here.
Denver, hide your moms.
Could not wait to get out of here.
Hide your moms. Here we go. He's going cougar hunting. But you know, it's a good move by It's a good move by the Broncos though, because they don't have to reprint the jerseys. You can just give them number 3 and just do it. I
heard he wants 5. I heard he wants number 5.
For what?
But what a quarterback room. You got Jarrett Stidham.
Ugh.
Zach Wilson,
Jesus,
and Ben DiNucci.
Christ almighty.
Let's go. Let's ride.
So
let's ride.
Maybe they could move up to number 6. Maybe the Giants could make that happen. Because if they're enamored, if Sean Payton is enamored with J.J. McCarthy, maybe he would move up to make that deal.
I don't think he's his type of quarterback. It's not his kind of. JJ's not the kind of quarterback you want to coach, I don't think.
Well, none of them are Drew Brees.
He might be in the market for like a Bo Nix type.
Yeah, so okay, so you're looking like second
Drake
round.
May type.
So
Yeah.
if you're gonna, if that's the other thing, that the Giants could use a quarterback because Daniel Jones and everything, but I don't think you need to make that move at 6 because you figure May's going to be gone, Caleb Williams is going to be gone, Jalen Daniels is going to be gone. I can get Penix in the second round. I can get Nix in the second round, most likely. Or if I can trade back and get Bo Nix later in the first round, if I'm so inclined. McCarthy's a stretch. And, I mean, the other guys, everybody else is like a third to fifth round pick. Kind of like filling out the back end of your roster type deal. That leaves you with the wideout. Do you take Odunze or do you take Neighbors? Neighbors is not endearing himself well, we'll say. Right? Apparently, he's exhibiting a lot of diva-like tendencies. Sounds like a wideout already. Sounds like an NFL number 1 wideout already. And
But he doesn't sound like a Giant.
no, exactly. Considering the fact the way the Odell Beckham situation went down, I don't think that they're going to get
Tony?
him.
Kadarius Toney too went down the same way.
Oh God,
They're not.
Kadarius Toney was in the first round. That's a Dave Gettleman thing. Dave Gettleman.
The Giants are not about that life.
No, not at all. So Odunze would probably be a better move if they're going to go wide out. I would say go Odunze. However, they have made an offensive line. So if Joe Alt is available, if he's there at 6, you take him. Right? You take
Yes,
you take
100%.
him. 100% take him. Don't blink.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy.
Brock Bowers. Both teams have been linked to him. I don't think the Giants need a tight end. I don't think the Jets need a tight end. Frankly, I mean, maybe it's gilding the lily. It's parsley on the plate. I like the Giants tight end room. I like what the Jets did. I mean, they got rid of CJ Uzama, so maybe that affects it a little bit, but I really don't see the need for either team to draft Brock Bowers. So if I'm looking at the Giants, for me, it's either Odunze or Joe Alt. And for the Jets, that's tough. Because what are the Jets realistically like? Are they going to get somebody? Are they going to get like an edge rusher? I think that would probably be a good idea. I mean, you could probably use another wideout, considering the fact that Alan Lazard is basically MIA. So, I mean, you're not going to take a quarterback unless you really want to piss off Aaron Rodgers. So, it's a little bit clearer for the Giants, in my opinion, than it is for the Jets. They can go a bunch of different directions. I'm going to say that the Jets are going to prioritize a pass rusher, and they'll take best player available. But for the Giants, it's either Odunze or they're going to take Joe Alt. That seems way clearer.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the Giants, I kind of disagree with you, and I don't think a quarterback should be on their mind.
Not at all.
I mean, you have Daniel Jones. This is the decision you made, so you're rolling with him. And really, what you should be doing is getting him a weapon, because there's really nobody to hand the ball to, and you're gonna have to throw the ball to somebody. So, yeah, I would go with Malik Neighbors from LSU, or you start building for the future and you go get go get the left tackle Joe Alt, he's gonna be great. On the Jets side, I was talking with somebody at work about this today. The Jets are in a huge problem because of Aaron Rodgers. Because this is a draft that is full of quarterbacks and wide receivers. And you're not going to draft a quarterback because you got this guy on your team. Like, we're going to have former head coach of the Spec and Kill Spartans on later, Clinton D'Souza. And I just don't know how that if Bo Nix is there at 10, or if Drake May falls to 10, how you can't take him. I don't know how that you're gonna pass up on that, because you have been toting yourself that you're a quarterback away. And here's a guy who's a quarterback who could be your quarterback for the next couple of years. And granted, you messed up with Zach Wilson. But that kid was, the red flags were there. You just chose not to look at it. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to unfold, because I do think they should take Bowers. They should take Jake Bowers, take the tight end, because you're all in on this year. And this is what happens when you have a GM and a quarterback that's on a hot seat. I mean, a GM and a head coach who's on the hot seat, because they're playing for now.
Well,
I'm not trading back to try to get draft picks. I'm not drafting the quarterback of the future. I did that 3 years ago and I fucked it up. I got to win this year. So I'm putting all my cards out there this year. I'm getting the tight end this year. We've already got the running back. We got the wide receiver a couple of years ago. I got Aaron Rodgers. We're going right now because I got to win. Because if I don't win, I'm out. And that's the problem when you have a coach and a GM on a hot seat.
They've also abdicated all authority to the quarterback. Right? He is dictated, and he is dictating terms. So if he wants a corner, they're gonna get a corner to go opposite, right? If he wants a kicker, they're gonna get him a kicker. They're gonna do what he wants them to do, because that's the Faustian bargain that the Jets came up with. That's what they agreed to when they acquired Aaron Rodgers. Like, you are going to come here and we are going to kowtow and bend over backwards to make you happy by any means necessary. If they want the tight end, they're going to get the tight end. So Bowers is going to be there. Is that what the team needs, though? The team, not the quarterback. Right? Not the 41-year-old quarterback with a surgically repaired Achilles tendon. At some point, it has to be about the betterment of the organization. You went all in on last year and it blew up in your face. Does Brock Bowers fill a need? Does it? I mean, I don't see it. Like, I guess I just don't see it. But that's the problem with the Jets, is that they have bigger fish to fry because of what they did with the Aaron Rodgers trade. Both teams are kind of screwed by the decisions they made at quarterback. I think we can agree on that. One was paying a young guy who was unproven, and the other one was you're beholden to an old dude. But how long does Aaron Rodgers have? And does Daniel Jones take that leap? He didn't look like he was, and he's injured. Right? He's trying to make it back for OTAs. He's trying to make it back for minicamp. Basically, what is he when he puts pads on center? Is he the guy from 2 years ago, or is he the guy from last year? So I don't know. So it wouldn't bother me if they bring in another quarterback. I think it's too high at 6. I think it's too rich. And there are teams, to quote Little Big League, they'll find somebody dumb enough to take him. Right? They'll find somebody enamored with J.J. McCarthy. Or they'll find somebody enamored with Drake May if Drake May falls. Or if Jaden Daniels falls. Like, somebody will make that move. And I wouldn't be mad if Joe Schoen made that trade. I wouldn't be mad if Joe Schoen backed out and moved down. I would be okay with that if I was a Giant fan. And I am.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's not a bad idea to trade back. But, there rumors are circulating that the Minnesota Vikings were interested in trading with the Chargers. They wanted to get Justin Herbert. They were willing to give up both their first round picks and their left tackle, and a conditional second for Justin Herbert, and pair him with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
JJ. And then in that situation, the Chargers are going to go get J.J. McCarthy.
At 5? That's insane. Am I the only one who thinks that's it?
But it's not insane for Harbaugh because that's the kind of offense he runs. Like, if you think about it, Justin Herbert's going to be wasted in Harbaugh's system. It's not a quarterback system where you throw for 5,000 yards. It's a very economical system. They're going to run the football. They're going to do play action. They're going to do zone reads. This isn't really for Justin Herbert. That's not really what he's best at, what he's good at. He's a thrower. You know?
And this is a pass league.
So I think that's the idea.
And this isn't.
But Harbaugh proved that he can get to the Super Bowl with a Colin Kaepernick. So, you know, and if you think about it, the Chargers really got to start over too, right? I mean, they let go all of their talent. Eckler left, Allen left. They don't really have anybody right now. So who's Herbert throwing to? Right
That's fair, but at the same time,
Mike Williams is gone too. Mike Williams is a Jet.
he's gone. He's a Jet. He's a Jet now.
Poor bastard.
But is this what, you know, when they were courting Jim Harbaugh, is this what they wanted to hear? Is this what Jim Harbaugh was supposed to tell them? Is this what wowed them? Or was it supposed to be, I can make Herbert the best quarterback in the NFL? Not, we're going to tear this fucking thing down and I'm going to get rid of Justin Herbert, the supposed generational talent. Like, you got to figure.
Well, I heard he had I heard his finger did not heal, right? And he has to go back and get surgery, and he's likely going to miss OTAs. So that might have also changed your mindset. It's like, fuck, does he have a finger problem? You know, he has gotten hurt every year he's been in the league. He hasn't missed that much time. He has gotten hurt every year.
He has, that's true, but he also hasn't played under an offensive mind. He got stuck with Brandon Staley. So, my buddy. So, you know, like, I don't know. I think they're giving up. They're pulling the plug a little too early if the rumors are true. But what are your thoughts on the?
It just depends. It depends on the offense you're running. It depends on the offense you're going to run. If you're not going to be gunning it downfield, and you're going to have this guy doing zone reads and running the ball for 4 or 5 times a game.
True. I mean, what are your thoughts on the Marvin Harrison thing? There are rumors around that he's trying to tank his draft stock so he goes down further. So, I mean, if he's available at 6. Yeah, Marvin Harrison's a stud athlete. You would do that in a heartbeat. But I don't know. I see him. I mean, is he really just trying to avoid Arizona? Like, is that what it is? Is that why you're trying to torpedo your draft value and move down the board? Like, I don't know. I just don't know. Do you love brownies? Of course you love brownies. But you know what's better than a brownie? A delicious, handcrafted, gourmet brownie delivered right to your doorstep. That's what our guys at Sweet Life Brownie Co. offer. Chef Tommy D and the crew offer a dozen delicious delights that you will crave, from the classic OB to Dutch apple to campfire s'mores and many more. Check out their website, sweetlifebrownieco.com, for their Friday brownie drops. At noon, their site goes live and you see what they're making. Since you're there, become a site member and earn points. You earn 50 points just by signing up. Make sure you follow on Instagram and Facebook too, at sweetlifebrownie_co, for the latest updates and their latest releases and creations. That's sweetlifebrownieco.com. Give them a call, 845-641-3043, and tell them D&Z sent you. That's sweetlifebrownieco.com, 845-641-3043. Sweet Life Brownie Co., because there's always room for a brownie.
And moving on to playoff hockey. After game 1 against Carolina, the Isles looked sharp at the start of Game 2. They skated out to a 3-0 lead in the first 2 periods, leaving the Hurricanes looking for answers. Unfortunately for the Islanders fans, there are 3 periods in a hockey game. The Hurricanes went on to score 5 unanswered goals, with I believe it was the final 2 coming in the last 3 minutes of the third period. Is this series over, or can the Islanders get back into the series on Thursday night at UBS Arena?
If they're going to let Carolina forecheck and dominate and get deep and just weather down their defense, it's over.
It's over.
It's absolutely over. It was over when Aho put it in the back of the net to tie it. And then it was even more over when Jordan Martinook got deep,
right,
and got in behind the defense, and that was all she wrote. Now, this is what the Carolina Hurricanes do. They grind you down, they forecheck you, they just work you and work you and work you and work you, and they're so skilled at the work you that, like, it seems like once it's impossible to stop. And they're talented too, right? And they added Jake Gensel. Jake Gensel had the 5th. Jake Gensel had the 5th goal, the death knell, and that sent Islander fans home extremely unhappy. But you know, you got to look at overall performances with the Islanders. Like, who needs to step up? Matthew Barzal. You got to show up, right? You're the guy. You're the guy who's supposedly the firepower on this team. You need to put the puck in the net. Brock Nelson, another guy, veteran. You need to step it up, right? It's great that Kyle Palmieri's doing it. It's great that Anders Lee is doing it. It's great that Bo Horvat is doing it. I mean, Bo Horvat, that's one that you should be. You know, Bo Horvat was an expensive get, so he should be contributing offensively. But I'm looking at Barzal, and I'm like, you got to do it, man. Because you know as well as I that Aho is going to be there. You know as well as I that Kuznetsov is going to be there. Like, that team is a well-oiled machine. And they're just going to frustrate you to hell, and then they're just going to take it from you. So stand up at the blue line, don't let them get deep, don't let them work you, and don't let them punish you with their forecheck. Easier said than done, but that's the key to victory right there. Don't let them get going.
Don't let them win. No, I mean, I think the series is over. You can't
score more than the other team.
You can't go up 5-0 on a team in the playoffs. I mean, you can't go up 3-0 on a team in the playoffs and then give 5 unanswered goals up. And I'm pretty sure 3 of them were scored in the final 3 minutes of the third period. It's like, you can't do that. You can't take your foot off the gas against a team like Carolina. They've been knocking on the door for 4 years now. They're number 1 in the league against the penalty kill. I mean, that's huge. And the Islanders are dead last against the penalty kill. And what kills me is that this is an Islander team. This is a veteran Islander team. These aren't rookies. These aren't first-year guys, second-year guys. This is a veteran team. This is a team that's been to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is a team that's been also knocking on the door the last couple of years. So to have that happen in Carolina, it's just not acceptable. You know, they better come to play against the Hurricanes on Thursday afternoon, or it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And they better come out hot. And that's the thing, is you cannot take your foot off the pedal against this team. The Hurricanes defend extremely well, and they're a veteran team. They're never out of it. They're never going to think they're out of it. They're always going to come hard. They're going to play tough. They're going to finish their checks. They're going to try to get downhill. And if you let off the gas for a second, it's done.
Yeah, well, if you look at it, look at the roster of the Islanders and look at the roster of the Carolina Hurricanes. It's not competitive. You have a lot of guys on the Islander roster who would not crack that Hurricanes up. You want guys with grit. You got guys with grit and spades, right? You have Matt Martin. You have Cal Clutterbuck, Casey Cizikas. You have guys on this team that are gritty and gutty, and they are those lunch pail guys that you like. I mean, we've wanted Matt Martin on the Rangers for years, but it's just not enough. You need that higher end talent, not guys who are going to scratch and fight and claw. Those guys are great. Eventually, you do have to put the puck in the back of the net. So it's one of those things that the Islanders need to build on this. That they can with what they have right now, but they definitely need to add a little bit more to this roster to make it more competitive offensively. And I mean, they're just getting worked. Like JG Pageau, he's a -3. Lee is a -3. Engvall's a -2. Like, you're just getting worked, plain and simple. And I mean, there's no shame in that. You look up and down the Carolina Hurricane roster, like, they've been there, man. Seth Jarvis, Kotkaniemi, Kuznetsov, Jordan Staal, Svechnikov, Tara Vinen. Brent Burns is there. Old man Brent Burns is there. And that's not including Dmitry Orlov, Shea, Slavin, Pesci. Studded. It's loaded. This team is absolutely loaded. Patrick Waugh's got to earn his money to keep this team in the series. And it just feels right now that the Islanders are the speed bump until the Hurricanes have their inevitable matchup, that inevitable rematch with the Rangers in the next round. Kudos to the Islanders, showed a lot of heart to get here, but this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you're defined, right? This is where you really show up, show out, or get shown the door. And right now, they're showing the door pretty handily.
You can't help but smile when you see a balloon. The simplest occasion is a party. Westchester Pop Stars, located in New Rochelle, New York, offers balloon styling and decor for all life's events. Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, showers, school and corporate events, store openings, or just because. Westchester Pop Stars takes balloons and shapes them into works of art, creating decorative installations for your special occasions. No event is too big or too small, and their custom personalization service is top-notch. Westchester Pop Stars is a private studio, quickly expanding. In-person consultation is by appointment only. Send an email to westchesterpopstars@gmail.com for more information or to schedule an appointment. No need to hire an event stylist. All you need is balloons. Currently servicing Westchester, Putnam, New York City, and Connecticut. To find Westchester Pop Stars, search for them on Instagram, Facebook, or Google.
More or less? All right, boys and girls, we have a statement. It's either more likely or less likely that it's going to happen. More or less. Number one, Aaron Judge will get his average over 250 before the end of May.
I'm going to say less likely. I mean, we're sitting here on April 23rd, and he's swinging with his eyes closed. He had 4 strikeouts a couple days ago. He just seems lost at the plate. I really, truly believe that this whole Soto thing has really gone to his head. He's another one that I think he only has 3 hits in the last 7 days. His home runs are way down. His batting average is 180. It just, I don't know if it's the toe. I don't know if it's Soto. I don't know if it's an early start. But I can't see him batting .350 from this point forward to get his batting average to .250.
At the current rate, it's got to be less likely. He's at 174 right now. So he would have to raise his average 80 points. 80 points in a month. That's like equatorially hot. That's equatorially hot. With a guy.
The strikeouts are bad.
Strikeouts are.
They're bad. It's not like It's not like he's. The pitches are like down and away. Like people are beating him. He's getting
that kid Miller for the A's pumping 103.
Oakland.
Like it's like nobody's getting exactly. That was Mason Miller. Check him out. That was straight gas.
High spin rate on that motherfucker.
Spun his ass into the ground is what happened. Volpe, Soto, and Judge yesterday. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. And a high of 103. Like, I had 103, but that was a fever. This guy, that's the last time I saw something that much, that high was a fever. So, it's hard for me to imagine that he's going to get so equatorially hot that he's going to raise his average 80 points. Now, he's second on the team in homers with 3. Stanton leads with 5. So, that part, it is what it is. But, I find it hard to believe that he's going to raise it that high. Can he get it up to like 220? Sure. 80 points seems like a lot, especially since Rizzo's not hitting, and Rizzo's providing the protection. Like, you need protection, right? That's how you get good pitches to hit. That's why Soto's getting good pitches to hit, because they still don't want to pitch to Judge behind Soto, because what's going to happen? He'll get hot. Eventually, he's a streaky hitter. He'll get hot, and he'll get so hot that he'll carry the team on his shoulder the same way that Juan Soto is doing it. So, less likely for 80 points, less likely for 250, more likely for about 220. More or less, number 2, Zach Wilson will revitalize his career with the Denver Broncos.
Oh my God! I'm gonna go more likely, because I want to see him succeed. I want to see him do well. I really believe that the Jets just mishandled this kid. He got drafted number 2 overall. That was the problem. If he was drafted 3rd round, 4th round, I think it would be fine. He's going to a place where Sean Payton knows how to coach quarterbacks. He's going to bring the best out of him. We're going to find out. We know he's got a talented arm. He just has a habit of running in the wrong fucking direction. They were showing his highlights as a Jet, and he's always running the wrong way. Like, gotta go forward, asshole, or throw the ball away. So, I hope for him that it does go well. I want to see him succeed. So I'm betting on Zach to turn it around. And real classy by the Jets saying thank you to Zach Wilson on the Instagram page. Although they didn't say what they were thanking him for. So if any Jets personnel is listening to this podcast, if you could just clear up what you're thanking him for a roster spot, thanking him for an extra apartment.
No, that's
Jersey, just let us know what to thank
that
him.
might be something we need to put out to our X account. What is Zach Wilson? Well, what? Yeah.
It's almost like an inside joke, right? They must be making fun of him.
That's a Giambi apology.
Fun of him, actually. It's
I can't tell you what I'm apologizing for, but I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm thinking about Zach Wilson highlights, and I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling. I'm trying to think of one thing. I'm trying. I'm trying to make a tribute video in my head. Right.
Beside the pro
he
day,
wore the shit out of that suit. Yeah. He wore the shit out of that suit on draft day.
Still a shitty throw.
He wears a great headband.
My highlight for Zach Wilson was him throwing his team under the bus. Like, I remember we had our show that that following week, I was like, I don't think he heard the question.
No,
He
no,
must
no,
have not
no,
heard
he
the
did.
question for
He
him to
did.
say what he said.
No, he did. I mean, he's a career 7% completions, 6,200 yards, almost 6,300 yards, 23 touchdowns. Like, that's not great. That's just not great. He has 25 picks for his career. Not great. Is it likely? No, it's not likely that Denver will revitalize his career. In short, no. But will he? He might put up better numbers, but I don't think he's win anything. I don't think that Denver is in the business of winning football games right now. They weren't last year when they benched their quarterback when they were on the outskirts of making a playoff spot. So, yep.
What a
Yikes.
stellar quarterback room. You got Stidham,
Oh, dear God.
Zach Wilson,
Bo Nix, you are a
and
Denver
Ben
Bronco.
DiNucci. Crushing it.
So, I don't know. Like, he's got talent. The kid's got an arm. It's between the ears. It's between the ears. If Sean Payton can somehow unlock whatever is in that arm, right? If he can take what's inside Zach's head and just kind of put it to the side, they might be onto something. You might be, because the kid's got talent, and it wasn't working here. Maybe it's closer to home, change of scenery. Maybe it'll do him some good. But it's really hard. It's really hard to overlook the last 3 seasons. I can't do it. I can go by what I've seen. And what I've seen is a kid who really shouldn't have been the number 2 overall pick. He shouldn't have been. He should have been a clipboard jockey, or he should have stayed in college. Like, there you go. Now, it's too late for that. It's too late for that. This is your second chance, Zach. It might be your last chance. So, go to Denver, head on straight, right attitude. Yes, sir. Get there at 6 a.m. Leave at 7 p.m. First one in, first one out. Don't throw your teammates under the bus. Show us that you've taken some things away from your time in New York and that you've learned how to be a professional. Because if you haven't, enjoy the UFL, buddy. Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade Store with DNZ.com today for all your Fade Route merch needs. I'm talking tank tops, t-shirts, sweatshirts, like yoga pants, we got those too. Like some cool accessories, we got those too. And we're not done yet. We have so much more planned for you, but check out what we have today at the Fade Store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade Store with DNZ.com. The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award. Alright, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our X account and our Instagram account at FadeRouteDNZ and at FadeRoute Podcast, respectively. And you vote. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said vote gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted ass trophy. And do you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D?
I don't.
Clay.
Oh!
Yeah. An offer in a playoff elimination game? That's bad.
Score another one for the home team.
That's bad. That's a bad performance and probably cost him a shit ton of money.
Because he's going to do better next year. Fuck it.
Yeah, do better. Just do better. But that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Legend Superstar of the Week, D?
First up, I've got the New York Islanders. Biggest choke job in franchise history, up 3-0 in Carolina in the second period and give up 5 unanswered goals. And I'm pretty sure the last 3 came with less than 3 minutes left in the game. Hope the Hurricanes put you guys out of your misery this week. New York Islanders, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Number 2, the New York Jets. Pennies on the dollar. Got rid of Zach Wilson for pennies on the dollar. The former second overall pick was traded for a 6th round pick. And they've got to split his salary. They couldn't even get the other team to pick up the whole damn salary. Trey Lance, who was selected right after Wilson a few years ago, was traded for a 4th round pick during training camp last season. Jets decided to hold on to Wilson despite how he was struggling 2 years ago, despite trading for Aaron Rodgers in the offseason last year. Then the Jets decided to play him after Rodgers got hurt. They benched him when things weren't going so well. They played him again, and they ultimately benched him again. What a disaster. But Z, they thanked him on his way out because thank you, Zach. Thank you so much for all the memories. New York Jets, you are my alleged superstars of the week. And number 3, umpire Hunter Wendelstedt. During the A's-Yankees game yesterday, you threw Yankee manager Aaron Boone out of the game despite the remarks coming from a fan behind the dugout. You said you didn't care. You weren't throwing Aaron Boone out for what you thought he said. You were throwing him out because someone at the end of the bench said something, and you don't want to throw out a player at the end of the bench. You'd rather throw out the manager. Hunter Wendelstedt, just do better, man. Just do better. Hunter Wendelstedt, you are my alleged superstar of the week, and the Rangers won.
Now, my question is this. How can you throw a manager out for what a fan did? It doesn't matter.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like, first of all, when you look back at the video, it's clearly a fan. The fan says it. There's no doubt about it. Aaron Boone is not even looking in that direction. He's actually looking down. Then the umpire has the audacity to say, I wasn't throwing it out because of what the fan said or what Aaron said.
Yeah.
Someone at the end of the bench said something, and I didn't want to go walk over to see who said something and throw a player out of the game. It's the manager's team. He has to take accountability, so I threw the manager out.
You're the manager.
What the fuck are you talking about?
This is your... No. He doesn't police the fans. That's not what he does. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Like, what are you doing?
You're insane.
Dude, how hard is it to say, I fucked up? How hard is it to say, I shouldn't have thrown him out?
But not only that, if let's say you threw him out of the game, he clearly is telling you that he didn't say anything, and then a fan said something. Right at that moment, once you realize it was a fan and not him,
toss the fan.
Then fucking let it go.
Toss the fan.
I'm sorry, rescind it. Like, whatever. Toss the fan if you want to toss the fan, whatever. But come on, man, what are you doing? You blatantly you're just being stupid here.
I mean, I've seen an ump toss an organist because they played Three Blind Mice. So there you go. So that's how thin-skinned umps are. So let's be real here. Hunter Wendelstedt's a freaking clown. And then to say, like, it doesn't matter, you're running no, he doesn't run the stands. Yeah, if somebody on the bench is chirping, he can go tell them to shut the fuck up. Like, he can't tell a fan to shut the fuck up. Like, you can't do that. Like, come on. Like, and you and I are not Aaron Boone supporters. Like, I mean, he's fun.
I actually like him. I like him.
He's a clown. Aaron Boone's a clown. I like laughing at Aaron Boone.
He's been thrown out the most out of every manager in the major leagues.
And I think he's getting up there in terms of Yankee history, too. If he's not past Billy Martin, he's close. And that's in 3 years. So good for you. Good for you, Aaron. Yeah. Between Savages in the box, the weird looking face, the weird looking faces, and now this, you provide hours of comedic relief. It's much appreciated. First one, I gotta go Brian Scalabrine. It's a little bit of a jump, Brian, when you insinuate that Coach Erik Spoelstra called a timeout and drew up a play for Caleb Martin to injure somebody. What? Why? Why would a professional coach draw up a play to intentionally hurt someone in basketball? In the most obvious way, in the most obvious time. That makes no friggin'... And the coach that you're insinuating did this, Erik Spoelstra. Okay, if it was Bill Laimbeer, you might have had me. Right? If it was a guy who had a rep, sure. But this is Erik Spoelstra. He's one of the nice guys in the league. He's one of the guys that, lo and behold, but by all accounts, does it right. We're taking homerism to new heights. Brian Scalabrine, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Number 2, the broadcast team for Sixers Knicks. Oh my god. I had to go back and rewind and rewatch the last 20 seconds just to listen to the commentary to see if it was me or if it was, if it was actually happening the way that the Sixers broadcasters had it. Now, at one point they said Tyrese Maxey was thrown to the ground. At no point did I see Tyrese Maxey thrown to the ground.
Oh, here comes Liam.
He punched you right in the head.
He punched me right in the head.
At one point they said that Jalen Brunson pushed off. I saw him stop on a dime. I didn't see him push off. Were we watching the same game? And this was after they hit the dagger, air quote, free throws that clinched the game for the Sixers. And they said as much. Down the turnpike we go. We've done our job. We came up here to take one out, came up here to steal one, and that's what we did. Did you, though? Did you? No, you didn't. You didn't. Because it's Knicks 2, Sixers nothing. Philadelphia 76ers broadcast team, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Last but not least, Nottingham Forest. Controversial call against Everton. And again, more lobbying for the officials. In this case, it was Nottingham Forest lobbying, saying that VAR referee Stuart Atwell should not have been allowed to referee the match between Everton and Nottingham Forest because he's a Luton Town fan, and Luton Town is directly behind Nottingham Forest and is trying to fight out of relegation.
It's a fucking 1-goal game.
Yeah, thanks, Stuart. It's obvious. Cut the lip.
I hate to break it to you guys, but if he was a Luton Town supporter, he would have tried to fuck over Everton. Just throwing that out there. That's how math works. He would have been better off fucking over Everton, not Nottingham Forest. Not to mention, who's a Luton Town supporter anyway? Come on now. Come on. We kid because we love. Nottingham Forest, the petty knows no bounds. You are my alleged superstar of the week. I think we've said our piece. But I gotta say, just a lot of chirp, a lot of whine, a lot of petty bullshit this week. Should make for a good poll. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ. Go to our Instagram account at FadeRoutePodcast. Find the polls and vote. And vote, and vote, and vote. And for our nominees. Just do better, boys. Just do better.
This has been The Fade Route with DNZ. Thanks for tuning in. Catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. So until next time, stay faded, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, turn on subscription notifications, and tell your friends. Spread the word, spread it wide.